What's happening in our hospitals? Some will say this is a problem since the pandemic, others will say that this has been an issue for quite some time. However, completely surfaced once the pandemic came. Long before the pandemic, we were already experiencing long wait times in the emergency rooms all across South Florida. After many complaining and many lawsuits, the solution opened hundreds of urgent care centers. That helped put a band-aid on the problem by creating an alternative for those not having critical care emergencies to go there instead. Also, the amount of people who don't have medical coverage. For them, this has created an opportunity to see a doctor, whether it be in the emergency rooms or being in urgent care. Therefore, these problems were not fixed at all, just slowed things down. However, the stress of the pandemic and the amount of people in the system at the same time broke the band-aid and opened the wound, which might take a really long time to fix. What is happening to our nurses? This is a question we've been asking for a long time, but no one seems or want to answer. And dismissing the fact that we have been in a shortage for many years now only made it very real when we were short during this pandemic, and the ones that were left and fought and helped during this war in this pandemic that we were in started walking away from their jobs, which has only made us need them more. According to the American Association of College of Nursing, just in 2019, records show that 80,407 qualified students were turned down from entering medical programs in order to complete their bachelor's and their master's. The fact that schools were making it so much harder for these students to also enter medical programs created the opportunity for this shortage. The issue, they say they don't have the instructors to teach, and that it's way too expensive for them to be able to hire and extend the programs to be able to bring in more students. Therefore, now, due to the pandemic and the shortage of students in these schools and the shortage of nurses in all of these hospitals, urgent cares, and all of the above, considering that urgent cares, most of them have all been closed down because of the shortage during this pandemic. Hospitals, the numbers of hospitals in the emergency room now, the wait times are even higher than they were before the pandemic in some hospitals. So now hospitals have been paying $150 million, according to Jackson's Hospital CEO Carlos Mayorga. He just paid $150 million last year just in overtime, which has created an opportunity for them to come and sit down with these schools and offer them coverage for the expenses that they're not able to put in order for them to bring in more students to complete these programs as fast as possible. Nurses for many years have expressed the pressure that they have since the patient to nurse ratio is not what they consider fair to them or to the patient, as well as a liability that could cause them to lose their license. And since they are so overworked, it is so easy to make mistakes. They have also felt that they are underpaid and unappreciated, which is another reason why nurses, some, have decided to leave the hospital's payroll and work for temp agencies, since they allow better coverage if they need a time off, and also better pay. Some of these agencies are now able to charge more for these nurses, considering the amount of shortage the hospitals are experiencing, being able to pay nurses more, since most nurses sign contracts on salaries, expected to work only a certain amount of hours, but then due to the shortages, required to work more, making their pay a lot less than they anticipated when they signed their contract. Some don't get time off when they requested, and so because of that, they feel that their time is not valued or respected, according to nurses.org, where they interviewed over 1,000 nurses. For many, the pandemic only created the nightmare they have been trying to warn us about for many years. This pandemic created the opportunity for all of us to witness the way they've been holding on to these jobs just because they like what they do and they want to help people when they need it. Issue is that also now vaccine mandates have created a bigger problem, since most have decided to leave the medicine world altogether because this pandemic and now these mandates were the last straw. This now has hospitals hiring nursing students before they even complete their programs because of the high demand. and the shortage that's happening all across Florida. However, is this a good idea? We really won't know for quite some time. Hopefully, for our sake, it is. I hope this is a solution to bring our performance in the emergency rooms to better timing, to help better patients that need it. But we won't know how this will actually work out till it starts playing out. These students are now going to be able to see what it really is to work in the medical field. Hopefully, they like it and stick around. And some might change their mind, putting us right back in the same position where we are now. In my opinion, addressing the problem is actually creating solutions so that those who take care of us when we need it are being cared for and appreciated while they are doing their job. Thank you.